Jashwant Singh ji, renowned insurance consultant, and he has got so many qualifications to his credit regarding financial marketing, including general insurance and life insurance, and also inviting our all India leaders and confederation leaders also of different state of India and state committee, then and insurance of association. And also I am inviting officials of staff and general insurance industry. Once again, heartily welcome to our chief guest, Mr. Jaswant Singh ji. So please take over. Mr. Lokesh ji, our All India Secretary, has to take part. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Jagdish ji. Now I request our All India Treasurer, Mr. C. Satish, to introduce Speaker of the Day, Mr. G. Jaswant Singh ji. Satish, go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. I heartily welcome Sri Jaswant Singh ji on behalf of IFGIAA and CGIAA. Mr. Jaswant Singh ji was born on 7th May 1980. Brief overview: a self-motivated fellow insurance and finance professional with spanning over 16 years of experience in the insurance, life insurance and health and financial services, education, insurance analysis, MIS and business process and business support functions, accounts and administration. Proficient in managing all aspects of underwriting, claims and various products, portfolios, analysis of insurance platform. In-depth knowledge of insurance products, brief and context and underwriting principles for individuals, insurance and group insurance. Exploring new initiatives and insurance research and development. Employment Chronicle. December 2016 to till date, working on consulting basis and adjunct faculty, serving an adjunct faculty and external examiner, evaluator, modulator, and care and technical insurance subjects, life and non-life both, pensions, banking, financial services, and university and institutions. Innovator at India Insurance and Ali Insurance Claims.in. Consultant at Protect Well, working two renowned actuaries and insurance product. Visiting faculty, Department of Professional Studies, Christ Demand to be the University, Mount Carmel College, PG Department, Sheshadripuram First Grade College, Yelahanka Port Department, resource person for insurance programs and for development, managing studies, Pondicherry University, Karikal campus. Enabling insurance and pensions domain knowledge and consulting basis. Participated and presented in seminars, views on unemployment insurance, FES Germany, India, social insurance, accident, safety, health, IFES Germany, India, health insurance Christ, national seminar on health insurance Department of Management Studies, Pondicherry University, involving cyber risk and unsolved problems, cyber liability insurance. He also published research and articles on unemployment insurance, film, cine insurance, cyber risk and cyber insurance, health insurance, wedding liability insurance, the future of insurance cover or service, the financial and health of uninsured lives, awareness, health coverages, evolving insurance company in India to achieve financial and insurance solutions, emerging the perpetual customer expectations with evolving technologies embedded with dynamic business models in perpetual insurance market environment. Filed and published patent jointly with two applicants on detection of health insurance frauds. Currently working on minor research on epidemic and pandemic risk insurance program, mental illness, benefit design, innovation, health insurance, unemployment insurance, and emerging cyber risk and cyber liability insurance. From July 1st to October 2016, Prudent Insurance Brokers Private Limited, Bangalore, as a manager, employment, benefit and practice. Policy, placement services, claim analysis, process involvements, and business support functions. And also conducting IRDA sessions and classes for Insurance Institute of India, courses, content development and editing and development study materials. Worked on various assignments with retired insurance professionals on IRDA, IRDA sessions, general insurance, health insurance, life insurance, insurance valuations, claims, underwriting aspects, etc. for bank software companies, institutions, and insurance intermediaries. Editing and content development for insurance and competitive knowledge, books, PSU, officer scale and clerk exam, general insurance, conducting classes for professional insurance courses. From July 11 to September 2011, Sinhasai Consultants worked as Sinhasai Consultant Private Limited, Bangalore, as senior executive consultant, insurance and financial risk planning and analysis, insurance analysis, comparative study of all personal financial products. From August 6 to July 11, Aviva Life Insurance Company Limited, India, Bangalore, as Executive Assistant Director, Salesforce, MIS and Business Reports, Process and Business Support and Functions. Conducting audits on daily activities to ensure standards are met, adherence to statutory compliance and training for new joiners, sales, operations procedures, Karnataka region, business process and business support functions. Academics. 2002 BCom in Management Accounting and Advanced Financial Accounts, Bangalore University, first class, professional process. 2015 Master of Business Administration, MBA Finance, School of Management Studies, IGNOU, first class, postgraduate diploma in Financial Management, School of Management Studies, India, IGNOU. In 2012, Diploma in Management, DIM, School of Management, 2 studies with distinction, postgraduate diploma in Management, School of Management Studies. 2012, Fellowship from Insurance Institute of India, Mumbai. 2011, Associationship from Insurance Institute of India, Mumbai. 2009, Licenseship from Insurance Institute of India, Mumbai. I once again heartily welcome Sri Jaswant Singh Ji to our federation, from Federation Insurance Agent Federation and CGIAA, and thank you very much. Over to Jaswant Singh Ji.
Okay, Namaskar everyone and good evening, and my Sadar Pranam to all the elderly one. Today we are here to discuss about topic about insurance. So this is basically an insurance series where I want to download this, cascade this information among all the intermediaries and insurance professionals that we are not aware of some of the important aspects. Now, insurance industry is no more is just into a supply-based industry. It's actually a demand-based industry. No more insurance, like in the upcoming future when I'm talking about, insurance will not be considered as a push product, rather than it will be considered as a pull product, right? So there are a lot of dimensions, technology is playing very vital role. And when you know very well that the growing needs of risk and the customer financial planning and how insurance has become vital tool in our day-to-day life, okay? So insurance is one thing where many of them will consider at initial stage as an expense, but over a period of time, you will realize that you are creating an asset yourself, or in case of when you're talking about life insurance, or in case of general insurance or other health insurance, it's a financial protection or kind of, you can say that a personal risk management for myself. So I have just prepared a small content where I will be talking about the insurance penetration, insurance density. So I've compared some of the world statistics. I've taken some statistics of the emerging countries and how India is at par with the world average status. Okay. So when you compare it with United States of America or any other country in the European region or any other countries in Asian region, how far India is going. And then you can see that after this pandemic outbreak, how insurance awareness has grown very well. And then it's a very unique and what is the intrinsic part of your personal financial planning. So I've just prepared a small deck with all this information. I will try to give you some information about a distribution channel snapshot as well. So try to give you a comparative study, because you as a distributor get to know that what are the other parallel channels? Okay, how do they differ from me? So this information is required. And I always watch for one thing, that insurance is a knowledge-based industry. In future, you have to keep upgrading yourself, right? So for that itself, I have included a small deck about the insurance education, which talks about learning, learning, and relearning of this insurance education. So I'll try to share my presentation, and probably I'll take questions at the last. I hope my screen is visible.
Sir, I think you have to, yeah, it's well.
Yeah. So the topic, what we have taken for today is Insure School, information series of the insurance industry trends. So what exactly is this? Now, when we talk about, say, okay, we're not getting into the history of insurance. Just talk about when this IRD, the Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority Act 1999, which was enacted. Now, which was to know that how to strengthen this industry. Now, despite insurance after privatization, even after 20 years, they're still lagging behind within the numbers of insurance penetration or it is insurance density. So first we need to understand what exactly is this concept. Now insurance penetration is usually confused with a lot of things. They think that most of them think that the number of people percentage getting insured in the Indian market. It's not about that. It is insurance penetration talks about the percentage towards to the extent of the GDP of that country. So we'll be discussing about insurance penetration and insurance density. So I've just made a small bifurcation. Now insurance penetration, it is a measure, the contribution of insurance premium to the gross domestic product. Now, if you have studied economics, you know that what exactly is GDP, right? So it's just a percentage, right? What is the contribution towards the GDP of a country in percentage term? It is the percentage of total insurance premium collected versus the total GDP of that country. Okay. So I'll just get into a small example. Say if a country generates a total insurance premium of say 10 billion, okay, rupees 10 billion, and that country's GDP for the same period is rupees 100 billion, then the insurance penetration translates to 10%. Okay. So at any given point of time, if you get to know that this is the insurance penetration of India, convert that into 100%, that will be the GDP of our entire country. Okay. So it's a simple maths what we have to do it. Then when you talk about the insurance penetration, what exactly is insurance penetration? It is a ratio of insurance premium to the total population. It gives an indication how much each of the people in the country spends on insurance premium, right? In other words, it is the per capita premium for the country calculated by dividing the total insurance premium by the population. So basically, in a more common sense, you can talk about, say, averaging. Okay. So the ratio of total premium versus the population of the country, in other words, per head, what is the insurance premium? Okay. So example, if the population of the country in the example cited, what example I've taken for the insurance penetration is say 10 million people, so the insurance density will be rupees 1000 rupees. Okay. So it's basically we divide that entire thing with the population which is there. So insurance penetration and insurance density are the two parameters used to measure the development of the insurance sector in the particular country. So my one request to all the agents and intermediaries and professionals over there, whenever you're discussing with the clients, whenever you're approaching the clients, make sure that you are always carrying this handy information of insurance penetration and insurance density. You need to connect this subject insurance with the economic activity of the country, right? You need to relate that. Otherwise, the customer now see now when we talk about the next millennial population, right? The next generation or the upcoming generations which are a working class as of now, they are expecting more number of information, they're expecting more number of clarity. So in this clarity, they might be expecting these things because on and off, they will be reading out to some kind of news or articles or getting these inputs in any kind of different talks. So they will expect this from agents that you need to get equipped with such kind of information. So I've just prepared a small international comparison of insurance penetration. Now this will show that where we are lagging behind. Okay. Now see, you cannot just see that what is the measure of that particular country. You can always say that, say, assuming that if a country is completely focused on insurance and insurance awareness is very good and insurance affordability is also there in that country. You can just assume a situation where one particular country where everything is insured. Now, what is the outcome will of that particular thing? It will be like the burden on that particular country is complete. The burden on that will be less compared to a country where there is no importance of insurance, or possibly say there's no probable awareness of insurance. So I've just made this comparison. So these are some of the statistics of 2013, 2014, 15, 16, and 17. Why these statistics? Because these are the validated statistics which I've taken. The valid statistics of 2018 of all these other countries are still not available. Maybe some technical reasons, but we still have the figure for the 2018 for the India. So you can just observe this kind of thing where I have taken the first segment. I have taken some close to 8 to 9 countries. Just check what is their total insurance penetration. Now we have done the bifurcation for life and non-life. Okay. Now most of you are general insurance agent. You just observe that how these are the countries. Just see the non-life insurance penetration. In some countries it is 3.48. In some countries it is 3.41. In some countries it is going up to 4.28 as well. But when you compare India, we are still standing at 0.93. Okay, so possibly when I reveal the figures of 2018, we are standing still below the 1%. Now, when you check about the Asian countries, the best insurance penetration which I found for the Asian countries was the Hong Kong and the Taiwan. Okay, now you can know that Hong Kong and Taiwan, right? We know that what is happening in current situation over there. Let's not get into that particular situation. Now, when you talk about Hong Kong, I was discussing with one of my colleagues and everything. They just gave me information that Hong Kong alone has close to 2,000 insurance company offices. Okay, can you imagine the importance of insurance? Can you imagine the what to say, the strength of the insurance industry in that particular country? Okay, so these are the things where you can say that the insurance penetration. Now, when you do this insurance penetration, these are bifurcated between life and non-life. So when I talk about health, right, the small segment of health will also come under life, and a majority of the portion of health will come under the non-life. So these are the insurance penetration figures which we are considering. Now you can just observe the Indian figures. Now, of course, I will get you the Indian statistical figures which I've taken it from right from the IRD Act which has been enacted. You can just see that we are still revolving around that percentage only. There were times that in 2009 the insurance penetration was very, very huge, right? Possibly the economy was doing well, but after that, what exactly has happened? Okay, so these are the things. Now, the first thing, being working in insurance industry, I got to know one common thing is insurance awareness. How do you grow this awareness? Awareness could be possible only because of making sure that how do we value the insurance education, right? How do we bring more professionalism in this insurance fraternity? So these are the figures which I have given on the international side. I will not get into much into it. So these are the just numbers which I'm just displaying. So you can just see the world average which has been given at the bottom, right? When you talk about the 2017, the insurance penetration is 6.13, where the life insurance penetration is 3.33 and the general insurance penetration is 2.8. So you can just have a simple math calculation over here. We are still at 0.93. Even if we are meeting the world average, you can consider that at least this general insurance industry has 3 times potential than the current, whatever the strength it has. Okay. So considering the previous slide which I've taken, I want to bring into notice that India's current 2018 insurance penetration rate stands at 3.71%. Of course, last year it was 3.69. We have just made a small rise of 0.2%. Okay, so far below than the global average of 6.13%. See, these I'm comparing with the 2017 figures. Still, 2018 figures are not available in the public domain. So when you just try to compare this insurance penetration with the emerging economies in Asia. Okay, I'm just taking only these 4 countries. The example, Malaysia, 4.77%, which are much higher than India. Thailand, 5.29%, much more higher than India. Then PR China, it is 4.57%. And the impressive percentage which I have seen for insurance penetration is Hong Kong. And of course, when you talk about Asian countries, even South Korea also I admire a lot. So higher insurance penetration they have more than the India. So when you talk about the India and the insure world penetration, these are the figures which I have just condensed it. You can just see that how we are still not completely at par with the global standard. Okay, we are talking about developing India, we are talking about India going into a digital space, and then we have a huge potential. But despite, you can see that how insurance industry is important. Okay, one simple analysis I want to give you. See, when I was in college days, I used to get news that at given point of time, whenever the stock markets are not doing well, okay, if the government will insist the insurance company to pump in the money in the stock market to strengthen that market. So you can say that insurance companies are the biggest domestic institutional investors in the stock market. Okay, so of course they have their own insurance investment regulations as prescribed by the IRDAI. They have to comply with the investment regulation, the pattern which has been declared by the regulator. So each and every country has their own regulations and rules framing with regards to the policy formation and investment regulation. So you can just see that when comparing 2017 figure, we are just at 0.93 when we're talking about non-life, and we are talking about life insurance, we are still at 2.76. Still more far behind than the global average. Now, what analysis when I was doing all this, see, I used to keep doing a lot of research for my own academic purpose and my own professional purpose. I got to know that insurance industry, especially the general insurance industry, has at least 10 times potential than the current whatever the time is there. Okay, say example, if the general insurance industry has collected a premium of 1,69,000 crores, okay, you would be shocked if I reveal the figure that what is the potential of in our country. It is almost 10 times. So it is, you can say that 16 lakhs crores, 16 lakhs plus crores, that is the potential what we have in our country. So still we need to regulate where is the gap, what kind of challenges we are facing. Is there any problem with the distribution channel? Are there any problem with the customer product strategy? Are the product according to the customer's need? Now you can see that a lot of tailor-made products are coming into the market. Okay. Now we need to come up with a situation where need-based analysis should be there. Now you can also come to a very one situation that insurance will no more will be sold on a face value. Okay. It means that the right kind of knowledge you carry, the right college kind of information you have, then you will be making better prospects in terms of the insurance market when it coming to business sourcing for insurance. So when you do an international comparison of insurance density, this I said that this is how we compare with the population. This is just a small comparison. You can just see that India is very, very behind. Now just compare your figures with Hong Kong, compare your figures with Malaysia, compare your figures with Japan, compare your figures with Singapore, PR China, or South Korea. We are still lagging behind. So it says that insurance industry has immense potential. So there is a lot of requirement of research and development initiatives, insurance education. That is why you can see that I'm connected with few of the universities and institutions where insurance has become as an important subject at the UG level and even to PG level. I got to know, and I'm associated with one of the edtech company now, where I got to know that for 10th standard, for CBSE, they have one particular specialization called banking and insurance. So I was surprised to see that. Now that course is becoming more popular because even the students at the 10th standard, they are finding this course as a specialization, possibly who are going towards the commerce stream. So this is the, now, these are the statistics which are prepared for the insurance penetration in India. I've taken this input from lot of IRDA's handbook of IRDA's handbook of statistics. You can just see that right from 2001, when IRDA Act was enacted, you can see that still in 2001, it was a 2.15% in terms of life insurance and 0.56%. Okay. Now, when you compare the figure with 2001 and 2018, it is not even, we have made a 100% registration growth. Okay, 0.56. And then at 2018, we are at 0.97. Why 0.97? See, 2016, 2017, and 18, there's a jump in the penetration, possibly because of the social security schemes which have been launched by the central government, like especially this Pradhan Mantri Suraksha Bima Yojana and Pradhan Mantri Jeevan Jyoti Bima Yojana. So even those are taken into consideration for calculation of penetration. You can just see the graph. Okay. Now looking at the graph, you can just see that we are at the highest penetration level at 5.2%. But general insurance industry, you can see that it started at 0.56, it is ending at still 0.97. So I feel that in coming days, insurance penetration for the general insurance industry alone India has a potential of at least 3 to 4 times. So that where we need to see that what kind of policies are there, what kind of new regulations are coming up, what kind of ease of transactions are doing, how insurance companies are coming up with innovative solutions to make sure that strengthening that distribution base, how insurance companies are coming towards the right-based customer centricity and market approach. Then we'll slightly discuss about the insurance cost and underwriting. A very small information about that. Most of you would be knowing, but still it will be a relearning for us. Now a simple thing, how much does the insurance cost? I guess someone has unmuted themselves. Yeah, how much does the insurance cost? The insurance cost depends on the premium amount, and this premium amount depends on several factors that differ from one insurance company to another insurance company. Simple analysis, I can say that the value of premium equals the value of the benefits. There are more number of benefits, the premium would be slightly higher. If the benefits will be less, the premium would be accordingly. So this is a simple analysis what we do, and we know how do we use our insurance money. We need to make a claim against your insurance policy, give the details about the loss, whatever you have suffered, and how does it suffer from one insurance company to another insurance company. Basically, it is, you can say the terms and conditions of that insurance company policy, what are the inclusions, what are the exclusions, right? So these are the things we need to take into consideration. Then submit the bills, proof of damage, loss or hospitalization, which is in case of health insurance, and the insurance company would verify the claim. There are a lot of possibilities that different types of verticals of insurance where they require some kind of investigation or an appointment of surveyor is required, or you can see that how technology is taking that particular space. Then the insurance company will analyze, either they will pay the claim or they will try to reimburse you the loss in whatever the, as per the terms and conditions mentioned in the insurance policy. So this is just a small snippet. So when you talk about how the underwriting cost and underwriting work. So in simple analysis which I have made over here. So I've just made a comparison of life insurance and motor and auto insurance. Why comparison with life insurance? Because we understand basics better. Okay. So example for a life insurance, they take into consideration the age factor, the health factor, the past and the current health factor, what kind of occupation, nature of occupation, okay, and the type of coverage, what kind of plan is opting, what are his smoking and drinking habit, and what is the sum assured he is taking. Based on that, the underwriting factor will be decided, right? And the premium will be decided. So when you talk about motor and auto insurance, of course, we have huge number of varied varieties in motor insurance. But to talk in a very common layman's language, you can say that make and model of the vehicle, type of coverage or plan, whether it's a comprehensive plan, whether it's a exclusive third-party liability, or it's only a OD premium. Based on that, the premium would be charged. Yes, of course, the zone segment also will be taken into consideration. What is the value, age of your vehicle? Okay. So usually the depreciation factor would be taken into consideration over here. And of course, the claim history. Claim history would be, say, if there's a favorable situation, there will be a reward. If it's an unfavorable situation, there might be a possibly extra loading or hike in the premium. So these are the things. So when you compare with health insurance cost and underwriting and home insurance cost and underwriting, let us get first into health insurance. We try to focus that your underwriting means the major focus will be on the age and gender, of course, the family health history. Similarly, we need to know that family health history is important even in life insurance also. Okay, and the sum insured or sum assured. Now, one thing I want to bring into your notice here. Now, whenever we talk about life insurance products, okay, we always use the terminology called sum assured. And whenever we are talking about the general insurance, that is non-life insurance, we always use the terminology called sum insured. So there are a lot of terminology issues are also there, okay, like proposal, policy, insurance contract. So yes, I have a lot of content which I have prepared. So definitely I will share it along with your federation. I've prepared my own insurance library. I've prepared a Google Drive of that, so you can access that information at any given point of time. So these are the thing, the type of coverage and plan, and what is the health history. So these are the cost and underwriting will depend on, these are the basic factors what I'm talking about. Then when coming to home insurance, the size of the home, the type of coverage, the age of the home, and the kind of system installed in that particular home. What is the location? Yes, that will also make a lot of impact. And of course, the term insurance. So these are the cost and underwriting. I'm not getting into deeper understanding of that. Now, few distribution channels snapshot. Why this understanding is required? Okay. Suppose if I'm an agent, okay, I need to know that how the insurance broker differs the services from my services. What is the best services where the web aggregator is providing, okay? Because I need to know that what are the parallel distribution channels, okay? So that it is not to compete myself, I can say that it is to make sure that how I can equip myself to make myself better, okay? So this small table which I have prepared. So I have just bifurcated on the type, capital requirement, qualification and training, right? The first part belongs to agent, corporate agent, then brokers, web aggregator, CSC, that is the common service center and special purpose vehicle. This is usually formed in the rural area, okay? So usually there's some shareholding pattern from the central government, and these are very into a kind of a village level entrepreneurship, okay? Then POS. POS, one point I want to bring it to a very important point after this particular slide. When do we conclude? That is point of sale, and then IMF. IMF is the insurance marketing firm. Of course, there are different channels also which we are not discussing. Now we can just see that what are the types, who all can become, okay? What are the type? Means it could be a company, it could be at individual level, it could be a firm level, it could be a cooperative society, it could be a, so these are the, now when you talk about agent, it could be an individual, it could be firm, it could be company. So when you talk about corporate agent, there are a lot of options available. Brokers are there. Yes, of course, the capital requirement to become an agent is not required. Okay. But of course, to become a corporate agent, you should have a net worth of 50 lakhs, right? And then in terms of brokers, you have to make sure that you need to bring in this particular capital in case of whatever the kind of brokers you have. Okay. Now then web aggregator, you know very well that, so I can say better example like Policy Bazaar or CoverFox, which are the web aggregator who are working on the digital space, right? And then of course insurance marketing firm. Okay, so these are the net worth what you have. Now one differentiation what I want to make is when you talk about an agent can be associated only with one life insurance company, one general insurance company, and one health insurance company. Okay, suppose if I am associated with all the company, I will be termed as a composite agent. When it comes to corporate agent, they have a privilege to work with 3 life, 3 general, and 3 health insurance company. And of course, with the broker, there's no restriction. They can work with any insurance company. Web aggregator again, no restriction. They can work with any insurance company. Usually, they will try to integrate the API on their website, the product API of that insurance company onto their website, and they'll try to do some kind of digital marketing activities. Then POS, of course, it is same in the resemblance, or not POS, sorry, CSC and SPV, that is the common service center, the same resemblance of agent. POS is a person again where basically a 10 standard pass can be recruited as a POS, right? Usually you can see that most of the brokers are recruiting POS. POS are actually selling the pre-underwritten products, but practically the situation is happening, something on the ground is completely different. They are doing all the products. So basically I can see that there's a regulatory disconnect over there. And then when you talk about insurance marketing firm, they can associate with 2 life insurance company, 2 general insurance company, and 2 health insurance company. Apart from this, they have gotten privilege that they can source the other financial products also, like capital market products, equities, mutual funds, bonds, okay? So various other financial instruments. So now there's a one particular committee which has been formed, and they've given a recommendation to IRDA that IMF should be given an extra hand to get associated with at least 5 life insurance company, 5 health insurance company, and 5 general insurance company. So when you talk about agency norms in India, I don't know why we are still sticking to only one life insurance company, one general insurance company, and one health insurance company. So that is a kind of narrow approach what the regulatory hindrances are there. So you can just see that what are the training qualification, training requirement, what are the qualifications required. Of course, these are the training bodies which I have mentioned. Anyways, I will share my presentation after my session. You can see that there are exam requirement, respective examination requirement to clear this particular distribution license. Okay. So of course, for POS, there is no exam. You need to just give your document to under whom you are becoming a POS. For example, a corporate agent can recruit a POS. A web aggregator can recruit a POS. A broker can recruit a POS. Now, I don't know what exactly is the clarity, because when I searched on the IRDA's website, I had only one particular circular which had, or two particular circular which has on POS, but still a lot of that circular is not bringing the clarity in right terms. So possibly I try to discuss with your federation that what are the activities you can do to strengthening the current existing agency force. And of course, the important part where everyone has an interest, we talk about remuneration. So when we talk about remuneration, I'm just giving an average commission. Okay, I'm not giving you a commission of the entire product. You can see that the maximum product with the percentage you can make it 15%, but now in terms of health insurance, it is going up to 17.5% as well. Okay, then in life insurance it is 40%. So these are the commissions which have been done on the capping. Okay, what kind of remuneration will be there? So these are the bifurcation which I have mentioned. Then these are the other distribution channel. We know bank assurance, right? You know that how bank assurance is also one of the important channel, right? So you can see that banks are earning their major part of the revenue from this particular channel. Okay, then there's a direct channel. Direct channel is where insurance companies will directly recruit the employees, and they will take up one of these examinations relevant according to their hierarchy or whatever the department they are, and then they start selling the insurance product without an agent. Okay. Then we have a digital sales. Of course, you cannot ignore this market. Digital sales is something online where most of them are either buying through a broker, or either buying through a web aggregator, or either buying directly from the website of the insurance company. And then possibilities in future, there might be new distribution channels as well. So we don't know. Okay. So still exploration has to be done, but still you can see that the majority, the major portion, the majority of business from the agency force only. Okay. So I have not taken that statistics of the business because it is not relevant with the current team today, where you can see that the majority, whatever the revenue business which has been generated in the Indian insurance market, the major revenue comes from the agency force only. So you can see that agency, you can term it as a backbone of the insurance industry. So when you talk about insurance affordability among poor, okay, now so this is one challenge when we talk about there are many people who cannot afford a one-time meal and all those things. There are a lot of theories are there, a lot of statistics are there, but still we need to focus on some of the other things. There are some other parallel activity which need to be taken into consideration. Now, when you talk about how do poor people protect themselves from risk, okay, usually either they try to prevent or they try to avoid. Okay, so when you talk about all those things, just a small village level analysis I have made. So preparation, then how do they coping up? You can see that either they will take the assistance of some one or the other social security schemes which are there in that country, or they try to make sure that if they're aware, right, they try to make sure that they're trying to show some kind of interest towards that particular thing. So you can see that micro insurance is one thing which is actually been starting. There are 2 to 3 digital players already in India which are working on a very small component. You can say that insurance in bits and bytes. It means that small insurance, say even you're getting insurance 50 rupees, 100 rupees. I'm talking about online. So there are some corporate agents who have got licensing from the IRDA. There are insurtech companies which they are working on, like say new types of insurance like cycling insurance. Today I'm just going for one particular event. I want to take an insurance for that event. Can you imagine even the business is there even for such kind of insurance, but still we are not aware. Possibly I will try to get the exact statistics and I'll try to share it with your federation so that it can throw more light that how we can also explore those areas. Okay. So when you talk about providing insurance to poor people, where it requires lot of specialized capacity, technical specialization in terms of, okay, there are challenges in terms of marketing and sales. Okay, how do we make sure that the products which we have designed are suited to them? Okay, now it should be in such a way that we need to have a proper need analysis, right? We need to know that what kind of affordability is there. Okay, we cannot ignore. Now, say example, you can say that when health insurance was there was a lot of concerns on health insurance that most of the companies having a minimum of 5 lakhs or 3 lakhs. Now, after this Arogya Sanjeevani policy, which has been launched from 1st April 2020, we can know that it starts from 1 lakh. Okay, so 1 lakh to 5 lakh, the cap which has been done. Now, of course, when you talk about the current Corona Kavach or Corona Rakshak policy, which starts with a mere minimum 50,000 also. Okay, then the distribution channel. Now I can say that when you talk about the rural market, or when you talk about this particular, the majority of the population stays in the rural market. Okay? So I can say that this particular market would be only with the help of agency. That agency force has some fine-tuned courses. Okay, they need to emphasis on insurance education. They need to go on a professional front. Okay, yeah, there are some questions. I will take the questions afterwards. Then let us get into the important policyholders turnaround time as prescribed by IRDA. Now, as an agent, you need to know that these are the policyholders servicing turnaround time, which have been prescribed by the Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority of India. Okay. Now, one common mistake I observe many of them, what they do is still they talk about, they say regulatory body as IRDA. Please make sure that IRDA, it was the earlier name, it has been renamed as IRDAI. So whenever you talk about name the regulatory body, always please make sure that you make the correct name, because this will also have a huge impact when you're talking in front of the customer. Okay. So the policyholder servicing guidelines, of course, I'm not getting into the details of this. They say that in terms of general insurance, in terms of life insurance, okay, in terms of grievances, within how many days this has to be, maximum turnaround time means within how many days these issues has to be resolved. Okay. Say example, processing of proposal and communication of decision, including requirement and issue of policy and cancellation within 15 days. I'm sure that most of the agent or most of the distribution houses do not know about this. Obtaining a copy of the proposal within 30 days in case it's a physical copy. Now, of course, online copy you are getting immediately on your mail. Then any kind of service request you're giving to insurance company, that has to be resolved within 10 days. Now, when we are talking about a distribution channel, I need to know the servicing parameters and servicing guidelines as well, because the servicing is the most essential part in the insurance company, because it will help me to control my insurance persistency. Okay, it will help me to get a good image over in front of my customer. Okay, good work ethics would be cultivated, and possibly it could be a situation where my existing customer could be giving me a repeat business, or possibly say a referral also. Okay, so this is how you can make a goodwill of yourself, right? So these are the terms which has been given, that under what situation and what circumstances, what are the maximum probable days. Okay, the survey report submission, what is the extension of survey report, what is the maximum given, additional survey report, what are the timelines, once the documents are complete, within how much time the insurance company has to pay the compensation. Okay, if the insurance company has still not paid the compensation because of any technical, say, miss outs or any kind of issues, what is the penalty which has been imposed? Okay, that we need to know. I'm sure that most of us are not aware of that, what kind of penalty and grievances are there. So possibly, as an insurance professional or insurance intermediary, we need to keep checking this website like ecoi.com, where most of the cases of insurance ombudsman have been uploaded over there on regular and time-to-time basis, where going through that case study, we can equip and we can also come up with solution that what best I can do for my customer, what best I can do to enhance my business sourcing. So this could be done. Then this is the COVID-19 Consumer Survey India of Swiss Re report, which I want to bring into notice. Why? Because after this pandemic outbreak, okay, you can see that there are a lot of people claiming that after the COVID-19, the insurance awareness has grown, but still there's a challenge of financial implication. Okay, most of them are under a situation whether should I buy it now or should I postpone it. Okay, those who are willing to buy, they have a challenges of financials because there are a lot of financial turbulence times also we are facing, that affordability is there. Many of them are having uncertainties about their earnings and job. That situation is there. You can, at a nutshell, when I was going through the PwC report, it was talking about after this pandemic outbreak, say example from March onwards, March 25th onwards, you can say that the queries for the insurance, especially the life insurance and health insurance, okay, it has grown to the extent of 30 to 40%. Okay, so we'll just go through this, make a walkover through this. Now, it conducted a survey in India to understand after this COVID-19 outbreak, how it has impacted on the consumer sentiment towards their financial situation, overall health and future insurance purchases. Okay. Now, of course, we cannot say that we are taking the advantage of this situation, but of course, you can see that health insurance will be a biggest market in the upcoming days. Now you can see that most of your business was coming from motor insurance, but of late, over a period of time, you can see that health insurance will make sure that their market will be more than the motor insurance in the upcoming future. Okay. So example, very common understanding, I can say that food, clothing, shelter is important for me. The fourth important aspect for a human being would be health. Okay. Food is important, clothing is important, shelter is important. Yes, of course, we can't ignore health. You can see that at this pandemic outbreak, how much we are concerned about health. Okay. So you can see that 32% of them overwhelmed and anxious about their financial future. They don't know what will happen. You can see that at this pandemic outbreak, with a very smaller level to a higher level, we are facing so much of uncertainty, okay, uncertainties. For example, if I'm staying in a rented house, I'm feeling that if I'm not going for work, if I'm self-employed, I'm a businessman, if there's a lockdown, there's no business happening, where do I pay my rent? Okay, how do I pay my bills? So these are the challenges, these are the thought process which are coming, revolving around all of us in some or the other way. So when you talk about if consumers need to cut down the expenses, yes, most of them, even including me, I have thought that there are a lot of expenses which are not required, right? I'm cutting down my own expenses. So I'm doing at my own level. I'm sure that this you would have experienced in your personal day-to-day life, right? So these are, and then they're willing to sacrifice the gym membership. You can see that those who are actually thinking about, now these are the, because these are the survey which are taken from the most of the millennial say cream. Okay, so these are the questions which has been revolving around. So you can see that the demand for insurance has gone up to 62% search for new policies. So when you talk about more than 60, now when you talk about the various search engines are there, right? The 62% has made an increase about demand of what kind of insurance policies are there, what kind of new innovations policies are there. Okay, then 28% of them have bought a new policy. Can you imagine after this lockdown, okay, after this pandemic outbreak COVID-19, okay, there was a 28% of new customers which have bought the policy by their own analysis. So we can know that somehow there was a gap between us and those customers, or possibly we can say that we are not able to find out, or we don't have a proper strategy how to tap those particular market. So these are the statistics which have been given about the primary health concerns, okay, desire to priority exercise the healthcare products, okay, what are the faster claim process payment, and all this analysis. So you can go through this analysis in detail. I have a report I will be sharing across with you. So this is just a snapshot I have taken into consideration about the importance of insurance after this COVID-19. Then insurers and reinsurers listing detail. Now this is one important thing I would require everyone. You can see that these insurance companies of late, which has hit the capital market, okay, means they have come up with their own IPOs, where IRDA has mandated some of the companies that after certain number of years of operations, you need to list your companies in the stock market. Now we can, when you talk about our neighbor Bangladesh, okay, where most of the companies are listed in the stock market, but still in India, we're exploring the ways. Okay, so why this requirement? Because when you go to a customer, we know that now the insurance industry is into a monopolistic competition where different number of players are there in the market. So we need to understand that what are the other companies are doing. Of course, the product information of other company also will help you to make sure that how you can strengthen yourself in your own business segment. Okay. So these are the listing details which I wanted to throw a light, like company like ICICI Prudential, Lombard, SBI Life Insurance Company, and in the public sector, GIC, New India, and again in life insurance, SDFC, which have hit the capital market. You can see that from 2016 started, 2016 till 2017. These are the total six companies which have been listed in the stock market. Now there are other companies which are indirectly listed. We say Bajaj Finserv is there, Future Enterprises is there, okay? Max Financials are there, okay? So under Max Financials, like we can talk about Max Bupa or Max Life, or we talk about Bajaj Finserv, we can talk about Bajaj Alliance and Life and Bajaj Alliance General. When I'm talking about Future Enterprises, when we can talk about Future Life and Future General Insurance Company. So you can just see that these are some of the basic figures I've taken. Now I would request that whenever you are meeting a very good financially aware customer, okay, so when the conversation goes on with the customer, there will be some question that what is the stock price, how the stock is doing well, at what price it has come. Okay. Now these are also one of the indicators that how these companies. Now, unfortunately, these two public sectors which have been listed in 2017 at 918, the offer price was 918 and 800. Till they are not able to cross that particular offer price mark. Okay, despite there was a bonus issue within a span of 8 months. So these are completely technical information. So just inform, most of you are aware with this equity market. You can make sure that you are equipped with this kind of information. What is the capital size? What is the share price? So basically, you can download the annual report of these companies. You can walk over to the annual reports, how these companies are doing well. So based on that, you can devise your own strategy at your level. Then digital age insurance sourcing. Now, I want to throw this important information. You can see that the world internet activity in every 60 seconds. Okay. You can just observe how it is happening. Yes, 1 second. Okay. Okay, you just see that with an every 60-minute activity, okay, you can see that how many Google searches are happening, how many Facebook logins are happening, how many messaging texts have been exchanged, how many YouTube videos have been viewed, okay, how many times the Google Play Store app has been downloaded. Now this is to just know that at what speed and at what space the online informations are happening, okay. So we cannot ignore that. Yes, of course, being an agent, what you can do is you can equip with yourself. You can know that most of the companies are coming with app. Okay. So how to explore that particular digital space, this we have to strategize ourselves. Okay. So these are the figures which I have just taken into consideration. Now you can just see that within every 60 seconds, okay, Facebook 1 million logging are happening. Okay. 18.1 million text. I'm talking about every 1 minute. Okay. 4.5 million videos have been viewed. I'm talking about these figures of 2019. When the upcoming figures of 2020 are coming, I feel it will be much more higher than this. Okay. So as an agent, you need to make sure that you please create your own Twitter account, your own Instagram account, possibly a YouTube channel. I saw most of the agents, okay, very good, well-known agent, who have created their own YouTube channel. Okay, at any given point of time, they create their own YouTube videos. They try to post it. So never bothered about how many views I got or not. Okay, you keep doing, because at least you try to tap those things. You start getting the leads even from those segments as well. So these are the complete snapshot which I've given about the world's internet activity every second, which is visualized. Now, about the entire, there are unique mobile users, right? 66%, right? Internet users are there, active social media users are there, mobile social media users are there. I can just tell you that some of the companies, how they are doing it. Okay? They are just using those hashtags like insurance and health insurance. If any queries, if customers are raising, they are trying to answer those queries to that customer and trying to get the contact information of that customers, and they are selling these policies online. Okay, I have seen so many agents at this pandemic outbreak without going outside, they managed to do this business. Okay, especially in Delhi and Mumbai, some of the agents which I've seen in Bangalore also, they have done this particular activity. So the only objective of showing this data is to equip yourself digitally. Okay, we can't ignore this particular market. So when we talk about the entire world population, 7.697 billion, the penetration of the unique mobile users is very high. Okay, everybody are using smartphones. So how to make sure that you have your own identity even at the Facebook? Start posting some right information on the Facebook. See, keep your personal account completely different from this your professional account. Okay, how many number of internet users are there? How many active social media users are there? Now you can see that there's a social media banking. Okay, so similarly, there's a social media insurance channel would also be there in the future. You can see that how Paytm has generated the amount in the premium collections of renewable premium and existing business. And today they have already got a license for the insurance brokership. Now they are still talking about to start an insurance company, start their own insurance company. So they have filed their requirement with the insurance company. So possibly you can see that how things are dynamic, situations are changing in the insurance market. Then future banking model. Why I'm giving this banking model? Because insurance industry can also take up this in upcoming days. Most of them are already existing. You can see that how these banks are integrating all their APIs and they're connecting that marketplace and interface between the common customer. Okay, they're collaborating with the existing banks. The new types of banks are there. Fintechs are there. Various fund managers are there. You can see that now the mutual funds can also be bought online. But how the most of the agents, right, most of the mutual fund advisors, they have efficiently tapped this particular market with equipping with right kind of information in the technology. Okay, they are integrating with insurance to bank assurance models. How they are giving the say supporting function to the retailers and other non-financial systems. So these are the latest two articles which I have written it for Institute of Cost Accountants of India and National Insurance Academy, where the article which I have written about the National Insurance Academy, it is on the dynamic business model and which I focused more on the distribution channel. Okay, so possibly I will share this presentation. I request you to go through this and let me know your feedback. And then possibly, and there are other very good articles with regards to marketing in this Pravartik magazine I've seen. Okay, they've seen that how an agent can equip himself. So a lot of deep reading is there. So I would request to give a reading from your end, and basically you can get back to me for any questions. Yes, I know some of the questions are there in the chat box. I will take it after the session. Now, this is the most important thing. Okay, the glimpse of insurance agents earning worldwide. Okay, few countries. I've taken this information about few countries. Okay, now we need to know that what is it there for me as an insurance agent in this particular country. Okay, now we can see we have our own issues and so many other hurdles are there. But when you compare as an insurance agent, see, I'm not talking about only a life agent or a general agent. I'm talking about an insurance agent as a whole in the foreign country. Okay, what kind of earnings they are in. Okay, so just I made a small comparison, right? What is their earning in their particular country's foreign currency exchange? What is the foreign currency and what is the value as on today? Because I prepared the value as on today, and the what is the conversion value in the terms of rupee. You can just in the United States of America, the average yearly earning is $62,731. Okay, so when you consider this, it is almost say that 46,90,020. I'm talking about an average agent. Okay, now it could be much more higher when I talk about the high agents who are doing big business, who are meeting HNI customers. Okay, so we talk about Canada Simple. Say of course the figure is coming some. Now see, these are the figures. Latest figures I've taken, except the figure of Germany, which I got of 2019. Rest all figures you can see that I have taken the data as on 24th of July. Okay, so you can see that we are, and then the source of the link has been mentioned. Now from where this particular data I've taken, I've just taken the source and all this which has been marked in blue color, right? Now you can see now the impressive thing which I found is South Korea. Okay, I can see that an agent is earning, okay, in crores. And same thing it is in Singapore also. Singapore also, they are doing very well over there. Okay. So these are the earning snapshot which I have taken it for United States of America, Canada, United Kingdom, France, Germany, UAE. Yes, of course, UAE is also very good important market. South Africa, Singapore, Japan, Russia, South Korea, Hong Kong, Australia, New Zealand, and China. Okay, so these are the things that what an average earning of an agent in that particular country. So at least we can see that we are not standing at par with these countries. So we have a huge potential. The objective of giving this particular slide is to make sure that still we do have huge potential compared to the say having the large population base. Okay, when you consider the natural laws like law of large numbers, law of averages, okay, we can fare better than these countries in terms of development. Yes, this is the important thing which I want to focus on: insurance education, where we need to focus on learning, unlearning, and relearning. Okay. Now, this learning process should be a continuous process for us. Okay. This doesn't mean that I've graduated with UG or master's program. My journey of learning is over. Okay. Learning is never ending when especially talk about the financial markets. Okay. So insurance, we can see that it is transforming into a knowledge-based industry, right? As I said earlier, that it is slowly transforming into a phase where it is becoming a demand-based industry rather than a supply or a push-based industry. Okay. So, like a lot of institutes are there which are offering diploma courses, advanced diploma courses, some of the specialized courses in the respective segment of insurance verticals. Certificate courses are there, compliance training are there. Yes, of course, for agents and distribution channel, I would always suggest a leadership management course for them. Okay, soft skills and communications. See, communications is most important. Digital marketing is important for you to know that how I can grow my business through Facebook, how I can grow business with my various other digital platforms, and basic financial markets training. Okay, this is also required. So when the government is talking about financial inclusion, we need to start focusing on the concepts like insurance inclusion. Okay. Now remember, they talk about the financial inclusion where this Pradhan Mantri uh, Jan Dhan Yojana, which has been introduced. So when they were talking about financial inclusion, we went deeper inside and we are started talking about the insurance inclusion concept. Okay, like a common man, the basic, he need to have a life insurance, he need to have a health insurance, and possibly if the situation is very good, he can take a home insurance, he can take an insurance for himself. He is a professional, he can take a professional indemnity insurance, and a liability insurance would be the next biggest market. That's what I'm feeling. So when you talk about the courses which are available in India, Insurance Institute of India, Mumbai, they run these courses at the level of licentiateship, associateship, and fellowship. Now there are some of the papers which has some kind of credit value added to that. Okay, there are some of the mandatory papers at the licentiate level, associate level, and fellowship level, clearing upon which you can attain these certifications, and then you can add a value towards your professional journey. Then you have certificate courses and you have specialized diploma. Yes, even these courses are getting very popularized among the most of the distribution channel. Now these are the LOMA courses from USA. It has a basic level, ALMI and FLMI courses is there. This is, we are talking about the life segment. So when you talk about the non-life segment, there's the American Institute of CPCU, right, which mostly runs the different kinds of non-life programs, and Insurance Institute of Canada, IIC. Now, what is the objective of talking about this program is, say in case I have done licentiate, associated fellowship from Insurance Institute of India, Mumbai, okay, so I will get certain exemptions from this institute as well. So one more institute which I need to focus on, Chartered Insurance Institute, London. So these are the certifications, whatever they have. They have Award CII, Cert CII, Diploma CII, ACII, and Chartered status and FCI. Remember, for insurance, they have given a chartered status. Okay. Now, apart from this, I got to know that even Nigeria is offering the chartered status. Now, see, we have a chartered accountant. Similarly, there will be a chartered insurance status also. So these are the some of the courses in general insurance segment and life insurance segment where this CII has launched for the Indian market. For example, now they will be launching this particular courses in the market. For example, like awarding motor insurance products and policies, awarding motor insurance claims and underwriting. They're coming up with health. They're coming up with award in general insurance. So as the days pass and the demand will be there, they'll come up with different kind of courses. Then of course you have different courses for the life segments as well. Intermediary in technology future. Okay, so this is where I need to focus. Agents will only be compensated for the value they bring directly to the career over the technology at hand. Okay. Now you need to know that what value you are bringing to the insurance company and what value you are creating for your customer. Okay. So you need to equip yourself with certain professionalism, certain ethics, certain insurance certifications, and possibly I can say that keep doing a lot of readings also. Okay. Then an agent should be adaptive enough to market their brand across multiple channels. The future is bright, perhaps brighter than ever. Okay. Then we are requiring smart agents with smart technology for smarter insurance. Okay. This is what I am talking about, where you cannot ignore the agency market. Okay. Because when you why I want to say that, because I also worked as an underwriter in insurance company. I get to hear hundreds and thousands of times that the agent is the primary underwriter. The agent is the primary underwriter. Okay. After quitting my full-time job, I got to know the importance of an agent. Okay. Because yes, agent is only the primary underwriter because he is meeting the customer either face to face or either on digital space, or he is having the most number of information, some kind of relationship he has with the customer. So he can give me the exact information and accurate information. So we need to strengthen this particular understanding that yes, agent is not only a primary underwriter, but he is a certified field underwriter. So most of my professionals who are associated with me, they have launched certain programs for underwriter. So this is where we're talking about is smart agents, smart technology. Point I want to focus on the main thing is there's a fee-based insurance consultant. What are these fee-based insurance consultant? It doesn't mean that insurance agent is bothered only about his commission. Even to talk about the product, about the insurance, there are a lot of insurance consultants who are charging per hour basis. Okay. See, forget about my commission, forget about my reward and incentive. Even to discuss you about the features or what is the need analysis towards that customers, there are many agents, even in India, because I work with a very short stint with a financial planner where it has a very good HNI customers from Bollywood, Kannada film industries, and very good business houses as well, where I got to know that they need to charge, they used to charge lot of extra amount for them. Okay. So example, per hour basis, if I'm going and talking to a customer, what will be my per hour charges? Okay. So example, in USA, the average rate which I've taken is $40 per hour. And in Canada, they're charging $40 per hour. Okay. So this is, you can see that what is the importance of insurance agency in those particular countries. Okay. On consulting basis. And then I need to focus on this thing. There are new age insurtech companies which are coming up, right? Now these are insurtech which are supporting the agent and broker in different stages. Okay. So there are live drift companies, these are different companies. The last one I want to focus is Protect Me Well, which I am working currently with these actuaries, where it gives you an analysis of term insurance, critical illness, retirement, corpus, and medical insurance recommendation. See, in this, we are not recommending any product. Okay, we are not promoting any company. We are asking certain basic questions from the customers, right? Which city you are staying. We are taking into consideration the inflation index. We are taking into consideration the life journey of that customer, okay, and the financial aspect. Based on that, we are giving you a scientific calculation of your requirement. So possibly, agent has to equip with this kind of thing. They need to come up. They need to know how these apps can be useful for them. Say example, when you talk about the Life Drift app, okay, it talks about the state-of-art automated marketing tools in agents and brokers. See, these are the 6 apps which I'm talking about. These are there in the Western market, especially United States, Canada, Germany, Singapore, and Australian market. The last product which I'm talking about currently, which we are working as of now, is also Indian market. So you can see that how agents in other countries are using these kind of insurtech models to come up with a very better solution. How do you present to your customer in a digital way? How do you present it? Say example, now you have to send a quote to your customer. Okay. So how do you give an analysis to them? Okay. Taking all the inputs from the customers and giving it in a report format so that it looks in a very scientific way, and then authentic calculation should be there and it should be meeting the customer's needs and expectation. So a common example I can say that, okay, in life insurance, we have a small calculation called human life value. So what is the insurance coverage is required for me? That calculation, we have put it in a scientific way in such way. As of now, we have just kept this particular portal open for all, where even individual agent can come to our portal, do a lot of exercise, generate the free report basis. So the promoters of these companies have not still gone into the paid version. Now still they are into a testing mode. Now they are getting a very better response even from the financial planners as well as the other intermediaries as well. So we need to focus on these particular insurance models also. So with this ends my session. Possibly I'll try to take some of the questions which has been posted. There are total some 6 questions which has come. 1 second, sir. Can I have these questions, sir? I'm not able to see the chat box. Yeah. So the question says that, okay. Okay. Oh, I'm so sorry, sir. I was just going with my own speed. For a broker, is it 75 lakh paid up capital for a fee deposit to IRDA? No, for a broker, it is not exactly the 75 lakhs. It's a composition that some of them should be net worth, and then some of the information you have to bring it in a cash segment. Say example, a broker has to keep at least 10 lakhs into a fixed deposit in the bank, and remaining he can show it as an equity or debt or a loan or any format which has been prescribed by the IRDA. Sir, any questions you have? Any questions, sir?
I think I will bring it to your screen. You can close this presentation.
Yes, sir. Is it done, sir? Yeah.
Yes. Friends, if you have got any questions, you can raise your hand. I will unmute you so you can ask questions regarding whatever you have heard from Jaswant Singh ji. Yeah.
Okay. Ms. Geeta Dayanand has a questions on becoming a broker. So you can take contact details from Lokesh sir. You can get in touch with me. So I have prepared a note on broker also that I can share it across to you. I'll possibly share that information with Lokesh ji.
If anybody has got questions, you can raise your hands there in the.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Chandrasekhar. Yeah. Jyoti AB is there. Yeah. So what is the future of an agent in India in this competitive market? So that's what I said, no? We need to, yeah, one second, sir. I'll just take the questions of Mr. Aryan Jain. Yes.
Yes, madam. I can go ahead, madam.
Sir, I have a question. It's my individual query. So what can I ask this? Can I ask this? It's my personal. What we have experienced from one of the insurance company in the claim settlement. Can I ask this, or it is not related to this session, sir?
You can ask, ma'am. I have discussed some of the regulatory thing, which is in the purview of the regulation. I definitely answer.
Okay, sir. 1 minute. ಅದು ನಮ್ಗೇನಾಯ್ತು ಕ್ಲೈಮ್ ಅವಾರ್ಡ್ ಈವನ್ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ಸಬ್ಮಿಟಿಂಗ್ ದ ಪೇಪರ್ಸ್ ದೇವರ್ ಸೈಡಿಗೆ ಹಾಕು ಕೇಳಿ 1 minute ಸರ್ 1 minute ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಿನಗೆ ಕೊಡ್ಲಾ
Madam, you
Sir,
explain. Yeah.
well, like we had a claim settlement. So the TPA we had submitted the papers to the TPA, though the papers being submitted to them and they've acknowledged the papers, which the documents that received, they had given us mental torture, like almost 1 month that we have not sent the required documents. They had been giving us emails that your
papers they have not
your
received.
claim would be cancelled or something. And
Okay, Jaswant Singh ji.
Okay,
Lokesh,
okay, yeah, sir.
Please,
Yeah,
after
that-
this webinar, you can contact me. You can give me the details. I think we will
ಲೋಕೇಶ್
be
ಅವ್ರ
able
ಜೊತೆ
to,
ಮಾತಾಡಿ.
Sure, sure. Sir, I have already mentioned about the claim guidelines which has been prescribed by the IRDI. So the guideline which I have mentioned, okay, so you can follow that. There's a certain procedure, and anyways, you can pose this question to Mr. Lokesh ji. We'll try to get some solutions for this.
Yes, sir.
As I said, aware.
Yes, sir. Friends, please, if you have got any personal issues, you can ask us. We will be able to clarify. Since Jaswant Singh ji is one of the most dynamic young experts in the country, I want you to ask particular questions on industry and how we can progress. If you have got any service-related issue, we are there. We can speak to your officials. We can get it sorted out. Sir.
Okay, sir, there is a question. There's a question from Mr. Aryan Jain. He's talking about the future of agent and India in the competitive market. Sir, as I said, the future of the agent, the future lies among ourselves. Okay. Now, why I don't want to ignore, because I myself started my career as an agent. I shared my detail with Lokesh ji also on my first talk that yes, we need to make sure that there should be a continuous learning. There should be ensuring that how professionally I equip myself and how I am making sure that I'm using the digital space. So that should be your answer. Where do we get information on various certifications you mentioned on presentation? Sir, you can get this information on my website as well, and I can provide you this information through Lokesh ji also. Possibly the federation can work jointly on this certification. I will talk to your federation for some of the certification program, which will be an value addition for your thing. Kindly let me know whether the diploma in insurance is equivalent to postgraduate. No, ma'am. Diploma in insurance is not equivalent to postgraduate course. It is the diploma level certification which has been given. So for a post graduation, you have to take a separate degree from the respective university. The agent cannot become a POSP. You have a question that agent can become a POSP. As per the regulation, the answer is no. Sir, many of them are asking about questions on CFP course. I would always request that I do not always try to integrate the CFP with insurance. Yes, I know that CFP is also an insurance important course, but I feel that a CFP alone cannot be an expert in insurance. So you need a separate certifications in insurance to upgrade yourself. Sir, we have a different underwriting power to different levels, broker, web aggregator, individual agents, etc. Why? Sir, this is where Mr. Dinesh Kumar has asked a very good question. Sir, I can only say that as the question I said that agent is the primary source of underwriter. When you talk about a broker, there are two segments again. Suppose if I am myself, I'm a broker. If I am approaching a customer, then I have a value that I'm myself a primary underwriter. There are a lot of brokers who are employing a lot of sales professionals, right? Where the broker himself is not directly connected with the customers. So yes, some kind of changes is required, and as I said, lot of research and initiatives is required in this particular. To become an IMF, I have to surrender my agency. Yes, even if you want to transfer from one intermediary to another intermediary, yes, there are requirements that you need to surrender your license. Unfortunately, this is a regulatory requirement. You can't ignore this. Yes, sir. You're talking about general insurance underwriting. Pricing issues are there. Servicing issues are there. I think as a collective, as a federation, you have a very good voiceover compared to the other distribution channel. I said that agency, you can see that when you total number of business generated by the insurance industry, the maximum share is from the agency vertical. So agency vertical cannot be ignored at all. Yes, of course, some kind of connect should be there. See, you can't say that it could be 100% digital or online. Okay, even if I talk about 100% digital space or an online space, I still feel that agents will be playing a very vital role even in this space also. Portability from group mediclaim to individual floater mediclaim. Madam Geeta Dayanand, I have not understood your question. Sudhir Gupta from Rajasthan have asked a question. What we can do in case of a differential claim settlement by the companies, motor dealer tie-up bank assurance. Now you can see that recently IRD has come up with some regulation on MISP also. I think that there's a lot of things to be done on the regulatory space. So your federation has to take up this matter with the regulatory body, and there should be a unique system. See, at the end of the day, I can see that irrespective of whatever the distribution channels are there, you cannot ignore the customer's needs, and we need to focus on the customer centricity. How to become a member of federation? Mr. Dinesh Kumar, you can contact Mr. Lokeshji to become a member of the federation. Thank you so much. Any other questions? I think there's no
Sir,
question.
in the introduction,
Lokeshji.
hello.
Yeah. Yes,
Hello.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Sir,
Yes,
in the
sir.
introduction, a lot of things I have told about you, how you are managing to do all these things.
Sir, Jaswant Singh Ji is our national president, Mr. Hiredhar Shah, who is asking you this question.
Okay. Sir, I tell you that at personal level, now I can say that when I did my graduation, I was just knowing that, okay, to make myself employed, insurance agency is one thing. Now I can say that after taking agency with LIC, I have grown to this level. You can see that I'm doing taking lot of research initiatives. I do keep doing lot of new innovations, keep writing new innovations, and then you can see that last year I filed my own patent on detection of health insurance frauds, and hopefully with all your blessings and greetings, I would be filing another 2 patents even this year in the insurance segment only. So I can say that whatever I have learned in insurance industry till now, it is 0.001%. I can still say that there's a lot of other areas I need to explore. So I have an interest of looking towards a different developing and underdeveloped market, and I try to see a comparative study that how we can bring in our country at a global place.
Great, sir. Great. We are proud of you, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. Thank you, Mr. Rakesh Singh. So floater mediclaim has been taken, group mediclaim of bank assurance. Kindly let me know the portability this group mediclaim of to individual floater mediclaim. Now, Mr. Geeta Dayanand, you had this question. Now you can see that the group mediclaim policy which has been taken by your customer, they should have the continuity benefit. Okay, continuity benefit, it means that if I am exiting that particular group, if I'm starting that particular individual insurance or family floater insurance, I need to have that very individual session about say how do I continue the same benefit by paying the same premium. Say example, I can say that how do I make sure that I do not get to face the crunch of the waiting period. There's one more question of say anonymous QCOM BDT, why there is such high variation in voter premiums from different company. Sir, you can see that there's a high variation even in the Corona Kavach and Corona Rakshak policy. It's depending on say example like company like National Insurance, company like New India, company like Oriental, which are the oldest players in the market. They have a large base of distribution channel. They have a large base of existing experience in the market. So based on that, their premiums are differentiated in the market. So you can comparatively check that there are, say example, there's one private company which is charging 19,000 for a Corona Kavach policy. The same premium which is being charged by say somewhere around 2,000 rupees by a public sector. Okay, this is because it might be a new player in the market, or basically their medium of distribution or approaching towards the customer would be different. Okay, thanks, Ms. Vidhi Rajpurohit. Thank you, Mr. Sudhir Gupta. Thank you, Mr. Rakesh Singh Ji. Thank you all. I can only say that for me, it's a never ending learning process for me. I always have an insatiable thirst towards knowledge of banking and insurance. So I keep doing a lot of innovations of how to make sure that our country should be at least become a very good risk management or an insured environment for the world.
Yeah, thank you, Jaswant Singh ji. I
Thank
think,
you, Yashaswiji.
yeah,
Yeah.
we will make the announcement since you are there and you are the speaker. Friends, along with Jaswant Singh ji and one of the management institute in Bangalore, probably in the month of September, we'll be having a one-day session on health insurance, one-day session on motor insurance, which will be a certificate course, whole day course starting with 9 a.m. in the morning till going till 5 or 6, with all the experts, industry experts from PSU sector, private sector, comparing the products locally and globally. It's a exhaustive sessions we have planned. We are planning, me and Jaswant Singh ji and other people are planning. We are getting faculties from National Insurance Academy and Insurance Institute of India, and lot of players will be there. So it's a limited people only will be taking, since the interaction between each and everyone is required, and people should be thorough in the health insurance and motor insurance. We will be restricting the participants to 30. If anybody is interested to join those courses, please you can text your number. You can leave your name and number in the chat box, so we will be able to contact you whenever we come out with the program. Now I request
Yeah, so,
yes, sir.
sir, some of them are asking for the presentation. So I will share the presentation with Lokesh ji, so you can share it with your.
Sure. Now I request Murali ji to propose vote of thanks.
On behalf of Indian Federation General Insurance Agents Association and Confederation of General Insurance Agents Association and agents, friends, colleagues, and partners of insurance company, we thank you, Mr. G. Jaswant Singh, for this wonderful session on insurance, insurance industry, insurance marketing, insurance penetration, and other things. And he has told that knowledge is power. Please
Thank you, sir.
educate yourself in all the things and empower yourself and digitalize yourself so that you can grow yourself and have a very good earning for the future and the present also. Thank you very much, sir, once again.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Friends, now we will rise for the national anthem. I request each and everyone to raise for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उज्जल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
ನಾಳೆ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಅನೌನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ.
Thank you. Friends, tomorrow.
ನಾಳೆ
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir. Friends, tomorrow we have got a session on fire and engineering at 10 o'clock tomorrow. As you all know, people who have registered for our program, they will be getting meeting number and password by SMS. I request everyone to log in at least 10 minutes before 10. That is 9:50 in the morning. Our Oriental Insurance Company Limited DGM Dr. Ashok Kumar Jain will be the speaker. He is going to speak on both the subjects. Please join for tomorrow. Thank you.